This is just a quick mini lesson on solving systems of equations using the elimination method or using this SOAP method. So SOAP is outlined here. When you're given a system of equations or two equations that you need to solve, the first thing you need to do, S, is get it in standard form, which is ax plus by equals c. So the x and the y need to be on the left side of the equal sign. So if we look at this first equation here, we need to move that y over to the other side by subtracting it. So we get 2x minus 6y equals negative 16. In the second equation, we need to move the 7y over and move the 18 back. So we get 5x. When we move the 7y over, we add 7y to both sides. So we get plus 7y. And then to move the 18 over, we subtract 18. So that would be negative 18. Next, we need to, once we get it in standard form, then we need to multiply to get opposite coefficients. O is for opposite. So you can either get opposite coefficients in the x column or opposite coefficients in the y. So you have to ask yourself, what number do 2 and 5 both go into? So you could make that a goal of 10 if you did that column, or 6 and 7 go into 42. Now, you want to probably go with the smaller of the two numbers so that these numbers stay smaller and you might not need your calculator. So 10 is much smaller than 42, so we're going to shoot for 10. Now we need opposites, so we need one of these guys to be a positive 10 and one of them to be a negative 10. So let's suppose I multiply the first equation by negative 5 so that I can get a negative 10 here. So you need to multiply every single thing in the equation by that number on both sides. So 2x times negative 5 would be negative 10x. Negative 6y times negative 5 would be positive 30y equals 16, negative 16 times negative 5, which is 80. And then, so we have our negative 10. What can we multiply 5 by to get positive 10? We would multiply by 2. So 5x times 2 is 10x. 7y times 2 is 14y. And negative 18 times 2 is positive 36. I'm sorry, it's negative 36. So we now have our opposite coefficients. So you either need to multiply one equation, or sometimes you have to multiply both equations. It just depends. Once you have opposite coefficients, we have opposites here, negative 10 and positive 10, then you add down. Negative 10x plus positive 10x, those drop out. That's why it's called elimination method, because we just eliminated the x's. 30y plus 14y is 44y. And 80 minus 36 is 44 also. We have to continue to solve for y, so we divide both sides by 44, and we get y equals 1. Now, when we solve for a system of equations, we're looking for a point, an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. And right now we have our y-coordinate, so we'll go ahead and plug that in. That's 1. What we need to do then is plug in that answer to one of the equations to get the other variable. It doesn't matter which equation you plug it into. So if you have smaller numbers than one, that would probably be the one to go with. I'm going to go ahead and go with the first equation, but it does not matter. They'll both get you the right answer. So we just take that 1 and we plug it in for y in this equation. So we get 2x equals 6 times y, which is 1, minus 16. So we get 2x equals 6 minus 16, or negative 10. And then finish solving for x, so we get x equals negative 5. Now don't forget, this x and y have to go into a coordinate point here, and that is your final answer. Let's try one more, just so you can get the hang of it. So we've got s, we have to get it in standard form. Lucky for us, these are already in standard form. The x's and y's are on the left side, and the coefficients on the right. So we're done with that. We don't have to do anything there. We want to get opposite coefficients. So ask yourself, what number do 2 and 4 both go into? They both go into 4. 5 and 3 both go into 15. stick with the smaller one, keeps your numbers smaller. But you can go with the 15, it will still get you the right answer. So then you want to ask yourself, what do I need to multiply this whole equation by so I can get a 4 here or a negative 4? Now since this one is already a positive 4, we're not going to do anything to it. We're just going to bring it over. 4x minus 3y equals negative 13. So if we have a positive 4, we need to get a negative 4 here. So what can we multiply 2 by to get negative 4? We multiply by negative 2. So when we multiply everything by negative 2, we get negative 4x minus 10y equals negative 26. So now we have a positive 4x and negative 4x. Those are our opposite coefficients. SOAP, so that's opposite. It's already in standard form, so we didn't have to do that. Now we're going to add down. These drop out. We get negative 13y equals negative 39. Add down and solve. We have to continue solving, so we divide by negative 13, and we get y equals 3. Don't forget p though. You have to plug it back in. So what we're looking for is an xy. There's our y, so that belongs here. Plug in this y into one of these equations. Again, it doesn't matter. So this time I'll use the bottom one. So we get 4x minus 3 times the y coordinate, which is 3, equals negative 13. 4x minus 9 equals negative 13. Add 9 to both sides. 4x equals negative 4. And then divide both sides by 4. We get x equals negative 1. So that's your x coordinate. That belongs here. There's your final answer. So that's solving systems of equations using elimination method, or same thing but using SOAP to help us do elimination method.